The doctor said to us, look, it looks like it's either leukemia or it's aplastic anemia. You would want to hope it's leukemia because his chances of survival will be better. Because prior to this, and he was 6 years old, we had a normal, healthy, happy boy. And our other kids were well as well.
The allopathic or traditional medical approach is, it doesn't matter what's happened, just go through the treatment and move forward.
Our first thought is, well, hang on, we need to find the cause, because if we can possibly find the cause, potentially we could reverse this. We want to know why this happened to our son. And they kept just reinforcing, listen, those parents who do best, just move forward with the treatment, just move forward. The sooner we start, the sooner we finish. And we said, well, we're concerned how we're going to finish. And they're like, just move forward. These words will always ring with me. Listen, you might be Darcy's mother. I am his doctor. What I say goes. If you don't get on board with what we're doing here, you leave me no choice but to get child services involved. We're going to get them in here. They're going to remove Darcy from you, and he's going to go through the treatment without you. Now, is that what you want? And I remember just sitting, just gobsmacked that someone who doesn't even know our child, who, I'm sorry, but was also a very unhealthy person, just making these claims of, we're going to take over the care of your child because we can, because we wear a white coat. And I think I just was sitting there crying. So things had become ugly now. He started the drug treatment. Things went from bad to worse. The massive amounts of steroids absolutely blew his body up, his face, his whole body. He actually became quite unrecognisable.
Start to go, push him around in a wheelchair.
Yeah, that it was degrading his bones, and yeah, he could no longer walk. His liver and his kidney were becoming over toxic from the drugs. His skin was peeling off, remember, from the antifungals, the cyclosporin. He was growing hair on his face and his ears and on his back from these drugs. He was constantly nauseous and vomiting. It was just horrific. And during this time that this is happening, we're staying in the hospital and he's constantly getting infections and fevers because they've completely obliterated his immune system. And, you would just be hoping you would make it through the night and he would still be alive the next morning, because they're just throwing more and more and more antibiotics at him. We read thousands and thousands of research papers. They were very long, late nights, a lot of stress, a lot of worry to try and find answers, because we knew if we didn't find answers, our son was going to die. We did end up finding what we believe was the cause.
So yeah, Darcy got better.
He got better. So that's great. And we we got our lives back.
And then several months later, we had a call out of the blue from the haematologist in Sydney, and she said, "Well, I've got this other patient, and we're at the end of the line for any treatment we have to offer for him. Could you share some of what you've done with Hannah, who's on our website?" And so we did, and so
we didn't make any promises or guarantees. So we said, look, we can only share what we've done and see what happens.
It was only baby steps, and we implanted. She was great actually, because she was on the same wavelength, and we had that same mentality about what needs to be done. We're going to do it. We do that for our kids.
She was so willing, and she did everything to the T.
Yeah, he was good, and came good again as well.
Yeah, and I think he's now 15 as well, 15 or 16.
Yeah, and then that was part one.
On that note, it's important to appreciate that in Australia, there is no moral, ethical, or legal reason or obligation for a medical doctor to tell you that there's a cure for a disease when one exists. There isn't. So you might think, well, hang on. And I hear this all the time, people will say, well, if there was a cure, my doctor would know, because they're a specialist in that, they would know. Doesn't matter if they know or not, they do not have to share that information with you. So if they've had a patient with MS or motor neurone or aplastic anemia and they have recovered themselves, they've reversed it themselves, they do not need to share that with the next person that comes in. They're under absolutely no obligation. So they may be the nicest person that ever walked on planet Earth, but they don't have to do that. And for their own self-preservation and for their own career, chances are they won't.
Unfortunately, it takes many people really life-changing decisions, like you're going to die of bone marrow failure before you'll actually upend your life.
Don't get to the point where we were with Darcy, and you're dealing with a system and they are costing you time and money and energy and emotions and all of that grief. We've lost years with our family with that. You know, don't get to that point.